Right lads, welcome to another episode of the Guinness Guru Show. If you're watching on YouTube, yeah, you spotted it. Christmas jumper season is upon us. Merry Stickmas lads. These jumpers are going to be available this Friday, the 11th of November. And I'm running a competition over on the Instagram to win the jumper, a hat and a little mug. What do you think of that? Huh? I'll get over to the Instagram. My guest this week on the show, a new friend of mine, but a good friend of mine, Eric Roberts. We kind of had the same trajectory in terms of we both got big on TikTok around 2020. I'm obviously very niche with the Guinness stuff. He's a bit more general. He kind of does funny skits, bit of lifestyle stuff, bit of fashion, proper influencer, this fella. And he's a good laugh. Every time we meet up, we do a couple of skits and they always get a good reaction, even though they're really, really stupid and silly.
Do you get recognised often in the pubs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite modest, but I tend to, whenever I go into the bars, the bartenders kind of fall at their feet. Everyone in the pub goes crazy. I mean, it's not my fault, it's just how it is. Like, I can literally picture, when we walk into this bar, I can picture what it's going to be like.
Sarah! Everyone, it's Sarah! Quieten down!
Johnny.
Drinks on the house! Now, like this way, sure, move! Get out of the way!
Right, we'll head into this pub. Wait till you see the reaction. Come on. Johnny, what's the crack? I'm here.
Yep. You are. Would you like a drink or?
I'm sure you've seen my videos. You obviously know what I want to drink.
Listen, we're closed in 20 minutes and I haven't really got time for this, so do you want a drink or?
Yeah, just Guinness. So let's see how my good Donegal pal gets on pouring a pint. Again, we did it in Smith's on Haddington Road. They were great the last week with James Ryan, so I said, we'll go again. Enjoy the show, lads. Is there a higher side?
Give me a stool or something.
Give me guess the higher side. Right lads, I'm here again, Smith's on Haddington Road. I'm here with the one and only, my fellow influencer wanker, as I always like to call him, Eric Roberts. Eric, how are you?
Pleasure to be here.
Down from Donegal.
Looking 4'7", a lot of stick after our last video, and you're looking even taller, which is great.
And the funny thing is, if a randomer watched my last video and didn't know who my guest was, they would just presume I'm normal height, because my guest was James Ryan, Irish rugby player, same height as me.
And I'm not the same size as James Ryan.
It's going to be a bit of a different optic for you, unfortunately.
I'm 5'10", 5'11", depending on the weather. So these comments are unwarranted and unjustified.
As Darren Conway would say, it's good for your age.
Yeah, you're offensively tall. You know what I mean? You don't make sense. I make sense. I'm normal. Yeah. So just hold your tongue, guys.
Very much abnormal here. Right, Eric, have you poured a pint of Guinness before?
Full disclosure, I've never poured a pint of Guinness. I worked in a pub I've worked in several pubs, but I've never made a Guinness. I'm one of them, like, do you want a vodka and Coke or nothing else?
How was you working in a pub and not make a Guinness as well? Jeez, you're having a shot.
Well, this mightn't go well for me then. I used to do the pubs and clubs abroad. One of them, like,
oh yeah, you told me that
tell
before.
them JT sent you 2 shots for a fiver, one of them. So I worked in there, but I very much was like,
reps.
These lads will come in if they were like, I want a sex on the beach, and I'd be like, would you not prefer to have this?
Yeah.
And I used to write different things down on the board of like a head fucker or a brain hemorrhage and all these creative things, and they'd be like, yeah, give me that sounds better, and I would just make it up as I went along. So I never had to actually learn how to make a drink.
So there wouldn't have been much standard Guinness out there.
No Guinness abroad, none.
Right, okay, we will pour your first pint of Guinness in. They've got the glass.
I think you should go first.
These glasses are absolutely sparkling. I think they've lined it like 6 really clean glasses for us. We'll plant them. We'll just put them fucking there. Just leave this here. Yeah, I can get a little close up with the camera.
So I'm going to tactically watch you here first.
Okay. So what I've been told, let's swap sides. What I've been told, also this tap doesn't go forward. So the whole thing with the forward and back with the tap is you pull it forward initially, and some people say you push it the other way, then to top it up because it comes out slower. Something about the nitrogen release or some sort of bollocks. But what I've seen most barmen who have experience, they just pull it forward both times. No fucking around. Straight in, no kissing. That's what I'm going to do. 45-degree angle. Nozzle just against it, but you don't want to dip the nozzle. we don't dip the wick, you know what I mean?
Okay.
You got to pull out early. Pull out game's got to be good, and then you're gonna kind of pour up to the harp. So let's go. And you can pull it straight back, no fucking around.
This
so
is extremely
pull
technical.
It back. Pull it back to fuck.
Really rough with it, like.
Yeah. You gotta know when to be rough and when to be soft.
And that's
so
your
there's a couple
mid
of bubbles in
harp.
that. I'm gonna do what Darren Conway told me, even though it's a card no sin. Take a few of the bubbles out like that.
And is that cheating?
That probably is cheating. So there's mine.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's gonna go up there.
Right.
You're straight away.
I'm slightly nervous.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. I think I'll just go for it. I think the more you think about these things.
Exactly. It kind of works the way the top kind of sits against the silver part there. So.
Well, that's.
You're laughing.
Right. Okay.
Okay, straighten her up, lad.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, happy with that.
Do you know what?
You happy with that?
That's not the worst I've ever seen.
No. Better than pub and a beat anyway. So
they might fly me back out after this. They're looking fairly similar now.
Yeah, they're looking fairly similar. Beautiful.
So we'll wait about. I'll take that.
Guinness,
One take.
Guinness say 119.5 seconds. You have to get the 0.5 in there. So basically 2 minutes.
Right. Okay.
The whole process. So from the pour is probably like 15 seconds, and it's. Wait, you've got one big fat bubble there now, but we'll get rid of that. They're looking good. But I don't know, Eric. We've done a bit of stuff together before, but I've never really gotten your. I think you're a bit like me. Like people see our faces on the likes of TikTok, Instagram, but we're not like the normal sort of influencery kind of people where it's like you're really giving it in depth into your everyday life and upbringing. So what's your general backstory?
I don't really. I've never thought about getting into this influencer life, you know. It really was struck upon me like any great superhero of our time. It was just thrust upon me. So it was lockdown, pulling my hair out, and I think what happened to me was
That's the only thing you were pulling.
Let's keep it PG now for the listeners.
Huh?
What happened to me was I was losing my head and I was watching TikTok like everybody else, and I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to stick up a few videos. And I think where that came from was not really getting stick off the lads or worrying about what people are thinking, because you were stuck in the house.
Yeah.
So I started, see them for months. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to get any stick because I wasn't seeing anybody, so I started putting up skits, different videos and stuff, started going well. And when it starts going well, you know yourself, you just get addicted to it and you want to keep doing it, and eventually people are praising you for it rather than giving you a bit of stick. So that's where it kind of spiraled from. But my content is entirely satirical, dry humor, and I don't, as you say, I don't really give an insight into my life, and I'm not completely transparent. I just put up humorous things and try and put up positive stuff and make people's day and stuff, and that's what I'm sort of about online, rather than look at me and I'm great and blah blah blah.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, great. Right, the homage test now, right?
Right, so this is part 2 now.
You're basically trying
this
to
one might be catches me out.
Yeah, so this is James Ryan last week had an absolute shocker. He just went everywhere.
Okay.
So the challenge of getting the dome is you want it to go up as high as possible without it spilling. If you spill it, then you're
fucked, yeah.
Then you're fucked, yeah. So it's going to look awful. It's not like a lager you can spill over the side, no one gives a shit. This is different. This is a bit the aesthetic.
You don't want a messy glass.
No.
Haven't you found respect now? I think because I'll get a Guinness and I've started looking at it. I think it's too much watching you.
Yeah,
but I'm thinking, what is this piss like? But now have to pour one. Was that a strong pull again?
It was a strong pull again, yeah. See, mine's looking, and don't kind of lower the glass as it comes up, if you know what I mean, so you don't dip the wick. Good effort. That's good. No, don't.
You think?
No. That's bang on. See the head?
I think that looks a bit shit. No,
the head.
Actually, my domage is actually a little bit better than yours. That's quite embarrassing for you, really.
There's your domage against mine.
Look at that.
Yeah. Yours is.
I'm incredibly impressed for my first Guinness.
Yeah, your domage is outrageous, Eric. And you were, I saved you. I could have let you.
I don't know, no, don't be backtracking.
I could have thrown you under the bus and told you to keep because you were going to go again.
I'm quite naturally good at first try things. Normally when I try something, I excel. So
you were going to go again. I said, no, Eric.
I was only teasing. I wasn't really going to do that.
So what we're going to do is if you could bring them to where we went, I'll get the whole camera set up.
Lovely jubbly.
Perfect. Right lads, before we tuck into these beautiful pints, you know how it is, we gotta pay the bills here at Guru HQ. This episode of the Guinness Guru Show is sponsored by the lads over at Suns. Suns are a men's healthcare brand that offer clinically proven licensed hair loss treatments for less than the price of a cup of coffee a day. And this could not be a more appropriate sponsor because my hair, lads, it's dwindling. And you're gonna see, I couldn't have picked a worse angle in the pub to film the rest of the video. You're gonna see, you're gonna laugh. So you won't be surprised to know, lads, 1 in 5 men start to lose their hair in their 20s. The lads at Suns have treated over 50,000 customers and have delivered results in 9 out of 10 men. And they're the only company that offer home delivered hair loss treatment for men. So to get started, you just take a 1-minute online consultation. The Suns will run the data and tailor a subscription plan specifically for your baldy needs. There's no contracts and all the products are discreetly delivered straight to your door. The treatment products include a tablet, a vitamin, a spray and a shampoo. So go to suns.ie or suns.co.uk if you're in the UK. Use the code PINTS40 to get 40% off your first order. And that's around £80 off of a 6-month plan in the UK or about €95 in Ireland. May the hair gods be with you. Back to the episode. Right lads, we're just quickly gonna drink this, aren't you?
Lovely.
Quality, right, we're gonna now set up this fucking thing. Right Eric, so we met up in... That was the first time meeting you, wasn't it? Up in
That was
Letterkenny?
our first face-to-face was in Letterkenny,
Yeah.
LK.
And we went into the cottage.
Lovely
You were on
pint,
the-
lovely pint.
You were on the Lucas Aids.
That was it.
And I proceeded to go make my way around Letterkenny.
What did you think? And that was a good review
I
overall, wasn't
I
it?
went through I have the scores written down because I wanted to ask you, did you think much of the scores or was there any talk of what was considered best?
You really enjoyed McGinley's, was it not? Sonny McSwain's,
and that was
McCafferty's as we call it.
mess. Like there was 2 pubs called McCafferty's.
Yeah.
And one was out near a mountain or something like
It's
that.
tough to get at, like, yeah, it
And
is.
the one I thought everyone was telling me to go to was across from McGinley's. I go there, it's called Sonny McSwain's, but Google Maps is still saying it's McCafferty's.
Well, I would still call it McCafferty's. I would
Yeah.
go there the odd Saturday night and I would still call it McCafferty's. I don't know anyone that calls it Sonny McSwain's. I don't even know what the crack is there, some sort of copyright infringement, but...
Yeah, but like then Sonny McSwain's is like a fucking, what's the fucking term? Like a franchise or something.
Like a Mackie D's.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Listen, I'm from there and I didn't even know that.
Because I
so-
basically said that was my favourite as an 8.4. You're not allowed to look at the notes.
Sorry. I'm trying to
I
cheat
said
here.
I was an 8.4 and then everyone was like, you went to the wrong place. So
You're gonna get that though
Stuck
everywhere.
on.
I felt like your list was bang on because if you're gonna review a town, people are going to a town. They're not going to be making their way up there. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, and I try to keep it sort of like central. And you had that Blake's place that felt like you're kind of back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And then the cottage bar was a highlight because it just...
It's like your granny's kitchen. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's
Never
lovely.
seen nothing like it, yeah.
It's lovely.
So you're happy with your pint?
Very happy with that pint now. It's lovely. I think the fact that I poured it myself makes it taste even nicer.
Doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Definitely does.
I've seen those life hacks of pouring the Guinness from the can, and I was doing that all Christmas, and I really loved them over Christmas because I was pouring them myself.
What
and
way?
I was kind of inspecting like that's a good pour.
Yeah, because like I must.
But this is my first time pouring out of the tap, like,
Yeah.
and I feel like it tastes just as sweet.
Like I must have tried about 50 different methods of pouring a can during 2020. And what method were you using?
I was doing whole can in
Just
and just
slam dunk.
pulling her out nice and slow.
And would you ever have the glass?
You would kind of leave it then in when
Yeah.
you're coming up close, and then pop it up again.
I just find that makes it very bubbly. But what you could do as well is you can get the glass, if you want to go more extreme, glass over the top. Open it, glass over the top, and then just fucking
Right, okay,
switch
yeah.
it out.
That's a wee. I'll have to try that one.
Yeah,
I'll write that one down.
I was only posting it recently, like literally about fucking 50 different methods. And then I remember this is funny, so a lot of people won't even know that like I was doing a podcast. I still don't know, are we calling this a podcast or what, but I was doing a podcast last year and it was all on Zoom because we couldn't fucking go anywhere. And I had you on, it was my Only Cans podcast.
And I was drinking a vodka and Coke.
Vodka and Coke, yeah. This is the first time we've actually had a proper pint. And you were telling me we were talking about stag deals, because the whole point of that podcast was kind of you know, about like your sort of history with drinking, and you were saying about Edinburgh, and you said you didn't. I think to quote, you said, "I didn't see anything more than the four walls of the Three Sisters."
So as a stag do should be.
Yeah. So I went to Edinburgh with my mates back in March, and of course, first place we went was Three Sisters. Probably got there about 5 p.m. Probably left at God knows what time, but yeah, I was thinking when I was there, it's a fucking gas spot, isn't it?
It's the only part of the country I saw, but I have a fond memory of it. The Guinness probably wasn't great.
No, it was like usual crack, like plastic cup. I don't know, I think I was drinking out of the plastic cups for the first while until you got on the harder stuff.
Well, on stags, that there was a hairy stag, but we booked my stag.
I was just going to say, yeah, your stag.
We have booked my stag, deposits paid, and we're heading to Viva Las Vegas. I don't think there'll be many Guinness reviews over there now, but we're looking forward. They have them. Do you ever see them? What are they called? Crazy Tuesday drinks. They're like this size, and you'll have
like a beer.
Oh, it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like this, and you have a big straw.
Yeah.
And you've got your flower necklace at the pool parties. And I'll be giving it some of this, but the excitement's real. The excitement's real. We're a group of 12 strong. We're going in May, and we're staying at Caesar's Palace.
Oh my God!
And I'm going. Does Caesar actually live here? I'm going to give it one of those. But yeah, it's going to be a hairy one. It's going to be a good one. There won't be much content on it now.
You'll have to let me know though. Is there any Guinness to be seen in Las Vegas?
I'll have a wee scope about for you.
I can't imagine. But
Maybe
there's an Irish bar.
Oh, there's going to be floods of Irish bars, I imagine. You can't go anywhere. But apparently, it's just, you could walk one end to the other. Like, people are surprised at how small it is. And apparently, you could walk from the airport even. You can see the strip from when you land. Someone just decided to build this paradise in a desert. Like, so, very much looking forward to it.
It's a fascinating one. I've never been, never really thought. Have you been before?
No,
never really thought to go. And like, my whole thing was always. It's probably changed a little bit now, but my opinion was always, if I had a spare $5,000, I'd need money to pay for the trip, plus the spare $5,000 to gamble with.
Yeah.
Then I would go. But I would think, like, what's your sort of? Obviously, it's your stag. So
I've always wanted to go. Like, from a very early age, even watching movies and stuff back in the day, I was thinking it'd be amazing to go to Vegas, but it always felt like it was kind of like very out of reach. Yeah, and I had even gone to New York a couple of years ago, and I never thought I would do that, and that was such a big, massive thing for me. I was thinking, I can't believe I'm doing this, and I went and I spent a fortune. I was like, I'll probably never go to America again.
Yeah.
But then someone just mentioned it after I proposed, and we were floating the stag around. Someone was like, gee, we should go to Vegas, and it just kind of spiraled from there, where I got some very close mates. It kind of takes away that aspect as well of who do you cut off on your stag, and do you invite 40 or 50 men. When you're booking Vegas, only people that really want to go are going to Vegas. True. You know what I mean?
You can invite 40 lads and you'd still only get the
exactly. You're only going to get your 5 or 10.
Do you have like? Because it's funny, I'm organising my brother's stag, and it's like that. There's the close schoolmates, and then there's like lads football and all that sort of stuff. Do you just have a solid group of lads who have always been your mates?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say my circle's very small, but I like through football through the years, I've got a load of boys I played football with for the last 20 years that are coming. Yeah. And they're making up probably 50% of it, and the rest are just some childhood friends, some friends I've known for a couple of years that I'm just very, very close to recently. Yeah. But it's a tight knit group of people.
What's the oldest versus youngest? Is it much of a range now?
No, we're all very similar. It's all my kind of age group. I'd say 33, 34. You wouldn't have any much older than that. One of the lads, my best man, David McGinley, he's organising it, and he's like. As I see there after nip on, so. Right, right, buddy.
Yeah. Sound like.
Cheers, buddy. The man organising the stag, Dave McGinley, he is a lawyer, so he is like, deposits paid by here, and this is our itinerary and blah blah blah. So he's very to the point, and we'll be well looked after when we're out there and stuff. And the rest of the boys are just like, get on the plane, start drinking, and don't stop until we get off.
So obviously, we're sort of pretty much similar age. What are you, 30, 31?
32.
You're 32?
Recently 32. Yeah.
I'm
pushing on now.
So we're the same, but like. Let's say if you went to Vegas, do you think there's much difference if you went to Vegas at 22 as opposed to say 32 in terms of like drinking, the amount of drinking and hangovers?
I'm hugely aware of my limitations now. Since I've turned 30, like back in the day, if someone was like, let's go out for 3 days, I'd be like, yeah, let's fucking go. And now it's like, we're going out tonight, and someone's like, we're going on a big one, I'd be like, geez, I'm going to be dying tomorrow. But that's in the back of my head all the time. So going to Vegas for 4 days, I think I'll be conscious. I don't want to completely destroy myself night one, and then the holidays ruined for the next 3 days. So,
but it's very hard when
you're with 10 lads that want to destroy themselves. So
at fucking 7 o'clock in Dublin Airport or whatever.
You're talking 14 hours on a plane drinking.
Yeah.
Like
you have to fucking. You have to come down from. Would you like? What do you? We take it for granted. I live like 15 minutes from the airport, and I see people getting off the flight and they'll be having to drive to Galway and Donegal now. Like, would you come and stay in Dublin the night before, or?
So it would be a minibus. We would meet at a delegated area, and we would start drinking at 9 o'clock, and you'd be 15 piss stops up the road, and you would give yourself allocated time for that there, and then it would be pints at the airport, pints at the plane,
like,
and
all that, and you haven't even gotten to the airport yet.
Exactly, yeah. So
going.
You'll need to be tactical about it, I would say, because it's 14 hours plus whatever amount of time you're on the bus and stuff, and you would be destroyed. 14 hours to Vegas. I think we're flying to Chicago, then Chicago to Vegas, so it's...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's a lot of travelling.
And what was it, 5 days?
4 nights, 5 days. You couldn't do any less and you couldn't do any more, I don't think, because when you're going that far, you want to make the most of it, but also any more than that, and you mightn't come back at all. So
definitely, yeah. Fuck, yeah, be no content there. And speaking of content, then I noticed you're trying a bit more to, like, the reason you're in Dublin a lot is because you're kind of going to these sort of events and mixing with different people. Like, do you have because again, you've said this to me before, you just kind of start doing TikTok and Instagram, and all of a sudden you've got this following and you're trying to utilise it. I think everyone who gets a following is trying to utilise your visibility without just going down the route of purely making money. Like, but where's your head at now for the next, say, couple of years?
Yeah, so I struggled earlier on just knowing how to monetize, and I was getting ads and like brand work and stuff, but it can be an awkward one to kind of work your way around and try and make natural, because a lot of these brand deals want very specific things and they mightn't suit what you're putting out, and people often don't like you like seeing you do ads and stuff. So recently I've had a bit more leeway and I've been given a bit more freedom, and I can kind of spin it into my own content and put out only stuff I want to do, which is great. I have a bit more freedom in that sense, but I'm just trying to take as many opportunities as I can get. I am trying to maybe break into like sort of a presenting style of content. I've got my little microphone, and I've been doing that kind of style of content recently, and it's gone down very, very well. So it's kind of in the back of my head now. Should I try and veer into TV or maybe acting, or... It's all up in the air, and that's what I love about it. Like with any other kind of line of work, that's what you're doing. Whereas this, there's so many opportunities in it. You're meeting so many people from different backgrounds who say, oh, you could try this or you could try that. So I'm kind of dipping my feet in and out of various ponds at the minute.
Yeah, like it's all the pros and cons. Like all the pros of a regular job are basically like the cons of what we do, because it's like I used to love the structure of getting up, maybe going to the gym, going painting for fucking 9 hours. I didn't love the painting too much, but do you know what I mean? And you get home and whatever, and it was I'm a real habitual, structured person, and all of a sudden I'm doing this full time, and I'm like, well, there's no one like forcing me to get up at this time or anything like that. So I think it definitely like takes a bit of getting used to. But then like you said, with the brand deals and stuff, there's such a balance to be struck, isn't there? In terms of people just don't like. They like to see. Some people like to see that you're making a bit of money from it, but like 90% of your audience, they don't want to see anything that's like.
I think people just love an underdog story. So when you're seen to be like on your come up essentially on excuse me, on TikTok or Instagram, and you're just starting to go viral, people like, this lad is just a normal lad and he's putting out funny content and it's going viral. But then maybe when you start to do a bit well, people get a bit fed up of it and it's like, oh, he's just doing ads now. So you need to find that balance of putting out your own kind of natural content and then the branded stuff as well. But when you have the kind of leeway to put out an ad that you've created, or they just want you to feature whatever it is in the ad, but they want you to create comedy around it. That's the stuff I love doing, because that's kind of natural. Whereas when someone's like, this is what we want you to do exactly this way,
like if
it's hard to make that natural on your own. Like, so
if there's a script, or if they're kind of, you send them something, they say, oh, maybe don't curse here or something like that. It just
it's essentially like, this is a Guinness. It's delicious and nutritious, and you should buy it. Whereas
that's pretty much the whole argument of, not that Guinness have ever approached me to sponsor me or anything, but you know what I mean. the argument is like, if they did, would it just be me going around to every pub exactly like that, and just being like, yeah, this is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
100%. Great.
It's not easy. It's not an easy one to navigate, and people think it's quite simple. And as you say, you can kind of pick your own hours, and it's great that way. But it can be hard trying to come up with this content and stuff, especially for you. I'm lucky in a sense that I just put out kind of stupid shit all the time, and it could be anything. Whereas you have a specific niche, so you have to kind of be creative all the time about one aspect, which is probably very, very difficult. Like.
It is, but I think it's again, it works both ways. Like you're kind of waking up, and you're like, at least I have say Guinness, and I can be like, obviously, what can I do around Guinness? It's quite limited, but I can be like, right, I can interview people, and I can do that 100 times, or I can go to 1,000 different places.
Yeah.
And the problem is people probably start to get bored of it, and you have to kind of.
I don't know though. I think it's a brilliant thing. Like I found I did a review of Dublin City there recently, and people loved it. And I was just thinking to myself, in a way, it's what you do, and people just love seeing you go and checking out, say, Letterkenny or Sligo or whatever. So that's where I'm from. Wonder will he go to this bar? So I think people were like, "God, come to Cork next, or come to Mayo next," and stuff. So I find when you're traveling about and putting yourself out there a bit, it can go down very well.
It's the one thing I would say. It's about being. If I could tell myself something to like from when I started doing the video, I would say like when I go something which you're good at, because whenever you come, like if we meet up, we'll do like 3 or 4 skits, and we might do another video or something instead of just the one thing. Something I would say is, or to anyone who's filming stuff, like if you're gonna make the effort to travel and spend all the money on the petrol or whatever in a hotel, get a few videos out of it.
Yeah, do as much as you can.
I'll just get one YouTube video and it might flop and only get.
I felt that yesterday because I knew I was coming up here last week, and I messaged you and I was like, listen, I'm coming up, let's do some bits for a couple of days. But I'm saying to myself, should I be doing more? And if I was coming to an event in Dublin or something, I would feel guilty if I didn't get like 3 or 4 videos done while I'm here when I'm making the effort to come up. So yeah, I completely understand what you mean.
But it's mad as well, because like some of your videos are like it would be literally a one-liner joke, say 15 seconds long, and you're talking like some of your videos got like 5 million views and stuff on TikTok.
Yeah, it can be very hit and miss though as well.
I know, yeah. But then I think that's how content has changed, because like I'm so drilled into my mind, like these long form YouTube videos and all, and they could get 10,000 views, 50,000 views, stuff like that. But I could do a sketch with you, and we only did it a few weeks ago, and they get 500,000 views. Yeah. On TikTok.
It's because people's minds are a complete mush now. Like it's constant need for gratification, a constant need for just
quick laugh. Like if you can make me laugh in 5 seconds.
Yeah, I even find myself, I used to love sitting down and watching a few YouTube videos, but now it's like I just want to scroll.
Yeah, you'd be on. I even find that as well. You'd say you have like 10 minutes to spare. Instead of, you might go and you'd be like that, and you'd watch like, even if you're taking a shite or something, and you watch like 30 seconds of a YouTube video, and you're like, it's not like. And
if you're losing interest at all, it's like nah.
And then you go to the shorts. You see something more interesting in the short, and then you're there, boom, 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 boom.
They're going to be pushing the shorts now big time on YouTube the next couple of, because it's just that's the way everything's going.
Definitely. Like. Apparently that is the big thing for 2023. Anyone making content, it's the YouTube shorts. Obviously along with TikTok, everyone was a steal from TikTok basically.
Yeah, essentially.
But anyway, Eric, that'll do us. Smith's Haddington Road.
I heard a good one now. Hold on, I heard a good one on the radio the last day. I don't know whose joke it is. You probably heard it before.
Sorry, I actually had quick fire, so yeah, tell a joke.
But this isn't my joke.
Yeah.
And most of my jokes aren't my jokes, but anyway. Man walks into a pub and he knocks over a lamp. And the genie comes out. And the genie says, how are you getting on, Paddy? Well, you've got 3 wishes. So he looks down at his glass, and his glass is empty, and he says, give me a never-ending Guinness. And the genie says, alakabam. Guinness comes up, he necks his pint. Pint's empty, refills itself. He says, Paddy, there you go. He says, lovely. He says, what's your next 2 wishes? He says, give me 2 more of those.
Brilliant.
It was good on the radio.
Rate the pint out of 10.
Oh, that was, I very much enjoyed that. I'm going to give that an 8.5. I don't operate in 0.2s and 3s. I'm going to give that an 8.5.
Fair. I think nice. I when I came here like 2 years ago to do or even 3 years ago to do the 12 pubs video, I think I gave it an 8.6, and I'm going to stick with that.
That was, that wasn't far off. I think it's the fact that I poured it.
Yeah.
Probably elevates it a little bit. Was.
Instagram handle, TikTok handle?
Eric.Roberts _ and Eric Roberts 44 on TikTok. You'll be probably disappointed when you follow me, but listen.
For a few days anyway. Give him a trial period. Right, Eric. Sláinte.
Sláinte. Always a pleasure. I thought I was about to die, and I was like, every 2 minutes there. Do you notice that? No?
Yeah, but that kind of happened. It wasn't bad.
Jeez, I was getting out dry throat.
I was doing a video with